Italy is home to the world's oldest bank, but the past 500 years haven't been a straight Roman road for Monte the Paschi di Siena. Join me as I speak to the CEO, Luigi Lovaglio, here on the CNBC Conversation. Mr. Lovaglio, thank you for having us at the Monte Paschi di Siena. My first question to you has to look at the transformation that you have led at the bank since you arrived here in 2022. We are now in 2025, and you actually came up with an offer for another bank. Before we discuss that offer, tell me how it has been leading Monte the Paschi over the last 3 years.
I did what any other entrepreneur would have done for his company. Just working in order to have the value of the world's oldest bank to reemerge and to flourish. And I think practically we invented banking. And we have a brand that is a great brand. So practically, if I want just to list the 3 important things, I believe that we are a sort of game changers. I would say first, the increase of capital that we realized at the end of November. The second one was simplification of the group. Simplification of the group means that 4,000 people practically left in 1 day. So it means 20% of the staff, and all of them were happy because we made a very good package for them. And the third one was a different approach in tackling legacy issue. This was quite important. All this kind of thing really brought to this path of transformation. And I have to say that somebody was calling this action altogether like Renaissance. And I think it's fitting, taking into consideration our history. We are back, and we are in some way also in control of our destiny.
I read several reports suggesting that you actually pulled all-nighters in the bank to make sure you reached this position. Is that true?
Yes, that probably is true if they are saying something like that. Right, I spend a lot of time. But the key achievement was the awareness that the quality of my people, the quality of the network of this bank was really impressive. And this is what I believe is also driving us in the future development of the company.
So you are back, you are in control of your destiny. That's your message so far. And the narrative for the bank has changed 180 degrees from 2017. Right? So explain to us, why did you think now was the time to make an offer for Mediobanca and expand Monte the Paschi?
We want to join force with Mediobanca because altogether we will enrich the offer to our customers. We will be key players in a very strategic sector. Wealth management, consumer finance, commercial banking, and investment banking. I think is a new way to approach the market, a new way on consolidation that is much more based on top-line growth, on increasing productivity, and also make an enlargement of the offer to our customers. Moreover, if we think of the banking in the future, we are also combining the power of 2 important brands with an enlargement of the distribution. So product, distribution, people, market, something that is much more similar to an industrial project.
So I understand your argument, but the other side of this equation is that you are trying to combine 2 businesses that are different in nature, and therefore there's limits to how much synergies you can actually deliver on. What's your answer for that?
Synergies on cost are obvious, because are coming from reducing non-HR cost, putting together large contracts, and you will have a better negotiation power. Then you have overlapping function in head office, and you can reduce. part of this you can optimize this kind of situation. But then moving on revenues, you are enlarging the offer to the two different customer base. So you are enriching and making a more integrated offer for the customer base of Mediobanca and for the customer base of Monte Paschi. Just to make an example, today you go with to a customer, you provide investment banking advisory services. And probably we can add, in most of the case, our balance sheet and also to provide financing. So this is an enlargement of the offer. There's not really, we can call synergies, but it's much better to say that we are enriching and making a full-fledged offer to our customers, to the customer of Mediobanca, to the customer, of course, of Monte Paschi. And moreover, if we join forces, we can also implement easily all the investment that are necessary in order to be more digital oriented. Monte Paschi planned to have 100 million investment each year. Mediobanca in their old plan have 75 million each year. So altogether with 175 million, really we can be ahead of all other competitors in making all these changes that are necessary.
Some would argue, though, that the customer is different. That the customer that is coming to Monte dei Paschi right now is not interested in the products that Mediobanca might offer.
This is not proven by the fact, because we are one of the main contributors, for example, to Compass in terms of personal credit products. And moreover, we have similar activity with Mediobanca Premier, with our Widiba, that is a challenger bank. So I mean, if we look at the retail part of Mediobanca, we are very much similar. And I think we can give contribution with our know-how. Then Mediobanca can give a strong contribution to development of our corporate business, because we have a very strong position in mid-corporate and also in large corporate, and probably going together with the customer, we can make a cross-selling activity very fruitful for the customer, first of all. So I think we are lucky to have in some situation different customer base, and we are lucky to have in some situation a common customer base on which we can leverage.
Explain to us also the idea of, under this offer that you made for Mediobanca, to keep both brands. And as far as I understand it, the idea is still to have two headquarters, one in Siena and one in Milan.
It is important to preserve the power of a brand of Mediobanca. It's a respectful brand, very well known, and normally the brand is putting together people. Mm-hmm. And we believe that through the brand, we will also be capable to keep the best talent people there. So I strongly believe that putting together both of them, we will have the possibility to attract talent, to retain the best people, and to become one leading investment banking in the country.
But that's why some analysts criticize the deal, is that even with the potential having two headquarters is seen as a block to having synergies in this case, in this deal.
No, right. This is the new paradigm. We are thinking about top line, to be innovative, to have much more possibility to go to customer and to have a full-fledged offer to them. So we are thinking much more in an industrial approach, with an industrial approach. Not only cutting costs, that is something that is obvious in a normal merger, we will be focused on top line. That's why it's unconventional and not easy to be understood from the very beginning, but I have to say that after meeting more than 100 investors, they came around to our logical approach. And so I think the industrial rationale has been confirmed without mentioning the financial rationale that is behind this deal.
Monte dei Paschi shares are down this morning. We're talking on Monday, April the 7th. But so are other banks at this stage. So there's a lot of pressure on equities. What I would like to understand is whether this pressure we are witnessing in the markets is making your life harder in terms of securing this deal and acquiring Mediobanca.
No, I think the situation will not impact on our deal. On the opposite, confirming that size matters, is confirming that you need diversification of revenues, that in this situation, let's think that we are already a combined entity, we will be stronger, we will have higher capital, we will have capability to react much quicker, and everybody will think that from the strong position we would have all together, we can face much better also this adverse scenario. Is a confirmation that you cannot sleep on what you already have. It's wrong not to think to change, especially when situation is better than normal, right? And this what interest rate was higher. I think at that time everybody should have done something in order to become stronger and also bigger.
What I would like to understand here is whether you think that you might have to sweeten the deal to convince Mediobanca shareholders.
I think the price is fair, honestly, because there is a premium, and then there is the cash-in of DTAs. Is something that present value is almost 100% at the time we launched the transaction on market cap of Mediobanca. I think the price of Monte Paschi was still undervalued in terms of P, in terms of price to tangible, and honestly, I believe that we treated properly the shareholders of Mediobanca.
So you don't feel any pressure to make a different offer,
No,
increase your offer?
I believe the price is fair.
Would you rule out increasing the offer?
I strongly think that if we are able to explain to Mediobanca shareholders the deal, that they will have the certainty to get the dividend for the next 5-6 years, we will ensure them a 100% payout in terms of dividend. At the same time, we will increase the capital at the level that we were mentioning, about 16, giving them the opportunity to further benefit in terms of industrial project that we can eventually follow and implementing, and at the same time also financially, because we will keep a strong position in terms of capital, we will have a buffer, so we have a lot of opportunity from the industrial point of view in front of us, and also for the benefit of our shareholders.
When do you think you'll be closing this deal?
First, the important milestone is general meeting shareholder that we are going to have on the 17th of this month. Then we expect to have all the authorization within June, and then to start the offer and the acceptance of the shares at the beginning of July. So hopefully within July we can complete the deal.
I'm struggling to understand how can you move forward given the pressure on banking shares at this stage.
The exchange ratio up to a few days ago was showing that practically our offer was fair. Now, clearly, day by day situation will change, but according to me, getting close to the deal, this exchange ratio will be confirmed.
And again, I just would like to get a clarification here as to whether you rule out perhaps adding a cash side to the offer.
At the current stage, I still believe that the price is fair.
Also, when you think about the shareholder composition, Mediobanca, as you know, made a complaint to the ECB last week, saying that if this deal goes ahead, Caltagirone, Delfin, they will have perhaps too much control of financial institutions in Italy. Are you worried about what the ECB might say and the fact that they've logged this complaint?
I'm not worried at all. I think it's normal to have shareholders that can have shares in another company. What is important is that as management, we have our plan, we are pursuing our plan, and it's clear for us that we are working for the interest of stakeholders. In the specific, in terms of financial benefit, the DPS per share, that is the one that interesting our shareholder is growing, especially for Mediobanca shareholder will be double digit, confirming the fairness of our offer.
After the break, Luigi Lovaglio, the CEO from Monte the Paschi di Siena, tells CNBC about his ambitious plans for the bank.
How does this deal fit into the wider Italian banking consolidation wave that we are witnessing right now?
We are a market that is still too fragmented. And it's not Italy, you think Europe. If you put together the 9 banks in the European Union, the market cap, all of them, is lower than the one of the first American banks. And even if we had UK and Switzerland, the top 6 are lower than the first one in America. So it's size matter because you need really to keep investing, to have a transformation approach, and consolidation is needed. Consolidation is also necessary because you have to change in some way the approach to business. Mm-hmm. You need to enlarge the distribution. You need to enrich the offer. You need to open a new market. And you can do only if you have the right size. And also in terms of cross-border consolidation, first you should reach a certain position at home. So it's difficult that you can make cross-border. So that's why the size is important. And I think the process of consolidation in Italy started even late, according to what is my view. Mm-hmm. That's why we'll go ahead, and I believe this is the first phase, and probably we will have a second phase 2 years from now.
So this is just a first step for you. You see even wider ambitions for Monte dei Paschi.
We will be really in one of the strongest positions on the market, having in mind the capital, the capability to make profit, a sustainable way, and overall, I think it's quite important to underline the strength of our network and the capability to generate continuous capital for the benefit of the shareholders.
So let's say in 12 months' time, how does the Italian banking landscape look like?
Hopefully, we will be the 3rd largest bank in the country. And I believe this consolidation can further create additional important players. We have to see what is going on Unicredito and Banco. Mm-hmm. It depends, of course, about prices and what Unicredito wants to do, right?
So Unicredit is the big player right now in figuring out what happens in Italy, Italian banking.
I think it was the one that started the process, yeah. And I believe is in the right position to take decision.
An analyst was suggesting that we are looking at a lot of potential banking deals in Italy, but they serve high drama and low premium.
High drama, low premium. I think it's quite normal because overall, if we think to the banking sector itself, it requires a lot of transformation. And transformation means investment. Investment are costs, people, skills. So that's why I really believe that once that you reach a certain size, then we will speak next, in the next transaction, about premium.
You want to close this deal with Mediobanca, and then where would you be looking at to expand the business even more? You're suggesting perhaps cross-border as an option.
We can start immediately with the part of the business we have already, because I was mentioning that Mediobanca is Compass, that is a key player on consumer lending. And I believe that once that we attach 1,300 branches, 3 million customers, we can cover easily the Italian market. Then Compass is a wonderful platform. Maybe we can export this platform abroad, and then starting making some business abroad in some different markets in order to become bigger. And then the situation will evolve, and we have to see how this consolidation cross-border will develop.
The EU is preparing countermeasures against the United States after President Trump announced new tariffs of 20% against European products. Italy is expected to be one of the European economies that will suffer the most from these measures. However, the CEO for Monte dei Paschi di Siena told me that there is a way for Europe to weather the storm.
Italy, before tariff, was showing a resilient economy, and also stability of the government was really a key point in order to attract investment from abroad. I think we will have the same problem with the other countries because inflation will rise, corporate earnings will decrease, and there will be problem for all consumers around the world. Being part of Europe, I believe that Europe has everything is needed in order to weather the storm, and at the same time Europe is one of the key holder of the American debts with 1.7 trillion.
Some German banks were actually making the point earlier today that the EU should avoid exacerbating these trade tensions with the US, that the EU needs to be careful in how it retaliates. Would you share that message?
I think we should be careful in all the action we are taking place, because normally it's quite difficult to find a solution to this very difficult environment by acting in the same way. So I think it's important to sit around the table and to show that practically it's quite difficult to balance imbalanced trade by imposing tariff. I don't think it's the best way to do it.
Do you think that this is the biggest risk for the Italian economy for the rest of the year, these trade tensions?
No, I think it's a risk for all the countries, for Europe and the rest of the world. That's why I hope there will be a solution, and the solution normally is coming by negotiating.
If there's no agreement between the EU and the US, would you be perhaps in a position where you have to change the guidance for 2025?
We have to understand really how this tariff will impact on export and will impact on the profitability of companies.
Yeah.
But normally I see that the Italian economy and the Italian entrepreneurs, they always find solution to very difficult time. And I hope also in this situation they will come out with a good opportunity for the future.
What other risks do you identify for the Italian economy this year?
A lot will depend how Germany will react to the program they have. I think it's a quite positive program. And moreover, I strongly hope that there will be this phase of reconstruction in Ukraine. And I think this will bring investment throughout Europe. And Italy has know-how, capability, and I believe we can have also a key actor in this process.
I would like to look at fiscal sustainability for a moment. We are looking at Italy, but other European countries too, like you just highlighted Germany, they're looking to spend a lot more on defense. How do you look at that dynamic? And could we start to see a little bit more of a pressure coming also from the fact that governments are spending more? You know, could that be troubling for the markets?
Short term, this will help in growing the economy, but clearly we have then to find measures, because normally it's not through debts that you can improve in sustainable world economy. But I think it's necessary at this stage. At this stage, I think we have to do really what is necessary in order to react and to have the economy growing, because this is necessary for all countries.
What would you say is the element that distinguishes this bank from other Italian banks?
The network and the quality of people, how they really are linked to the institution, how they feel really part of the organization. And I would really tell you something that happened this morning to me. You know, while I was on my way to the bank, right, I was stopped by an employee. Honestly, I don't remember meeting him before, right? And he told me, Mr. Lovaglio, thank you, thank you, thank you 3 times. He said, you brought back us the life. And thank you for that. And this is something that is unique and is part of the brand of this institution.